All right, which one of you guys pulled the plug on the NOTAM system this morning, Wednesday, January 11th, 2023? My name's Juan Brown. You're watching the Blanco Lirio channel. Let's find out why NOTAMs are so important and how this caused the delay of over 4,000 flights and nearly 700 cancellations today. Here's the nationwide advisory we got from ATC. The U.S. NOTAM system failed at 2028Z. It's dated today. Since then, no new NOTAMs or amendments have been processed. Technicians are currently working to restore the system, and there is no estimate for restoration of service at this time. Well, it's now currently 9:04 a.m. here on the West Coast, and flights are resuming. There is currently a hotline in effect, which is names and FAA facilities and stakeholders in attendance. This hotline information is contained in the advisory, and it'll be updated as necessary. Looking at the Flight Radar 24 map, looks like flights are getting back underway across the country. Let's check out the playback feature on Flight Radar 24. Here's the current time. Let's go back in time. About an hour ago, 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago. Again, it's about 9 local West Coast time here. And look at that. It really, things were not moving this morning as a result of this NOTAM outage. Aircraft were able to land. The problem with not having NOTAMs is a flight planning problem for major airlines. In my small aircraft, I'm not going to be prevented from taking off due to a lack of NOTAMs. May not be wise, but it's not going to stop me. But for major airlines, the system is so automated that if the NOTAM system is down, the flight plan cannot be printed out, and thus the flight cannot depart for the airlines. Now, most major airlines have their own backup system in the event that their computer system or NOTAM system or some portion of their system breaks down. There's a backup system to get the flight plans out and get the flights moving. But if the national system breaks down and then the FAA says ground stop everybody until we get it sorted out, you're dead in the water. Taking a look here at FlightAware at the misery index. Total delays today, 14,855, but total delays in the United States, 7,134. Total cancellations in the United States, 1,126. And if we look at the misery index here, currently, they're showing 1,865 delays up here in the upper right corner, 315 cancellations. Chicago hit the hardest, it looks like. But the neat feature is you can go back in time and take a look at this. Let's go back to midnight and play it out the misery index, and boom, right about in here is where it peaks out. So it looks like things are beginning to move again with a lot of delays. And here's some of the factors that are going to snowball this thing. As a pilot, I can tell you that a lot of us are going to be out of position. A lot of us need to commute to work. If we cannot get to work to start our sequence, that sequence is going to be delayed, or they're going to have to get another pilot or a reserve pilot to get that sequence rolling. Once the pilot shows up for work, ready to go to work, he's on the clock and his duty time is rolling. And a lot of these schedules don't have a lot of built-in excess amount of slack built into the system. Once that duty time starts rolling, he can only roll for a couple hours or so before he's going to be timed out to take that particular flight. International flights are especially tight. They only have, well, very little time, maybe as much as an hour or so of time that they can absorb in a delay before that crew times out for that flight. Then they're going to have to re-crew that flight before they can launch. So this will have a long-lasting ripple effect, and it might be until tomorrow or later before things settle back down to normal if they got this NOTAM system fixed in the first place. So what is a NOTAM, or a Notice to Airmen, or Notice to Air Missions, as it's more recently been known as? It's a critical piece of flight planning software that tells you all the temporary things that may affect you on your route of flight. And the dispatchers need this information before they can generate a flight plan for the airlines. And this NOTAM information is appended to your flight plan, and a long laundry list of things that are going on a temporary basis along your route of flight. A lot of this is not really particularly important or may not affect you at all on your flight. It has to do with the particular approach you're flying, a particular runway you're going to. But for flight planning purposes, yeah, if a runway is closed, for example, you've got to pick another runway. You might have to pick a runway that's smaller than the runway that's closed. Now the flight planner's got to change the entire load plan for the aircraft to make accommodations for the shorter runway. So you really can't get the flights going out the door until you have the NOTAM information, and then you can build the flight plan around that information. There may be airspace that you have to go around completely. The big question this morning is, why did this NOTAM system fail? Well, our U.S. Secretary of Transportation is on the case, and he's to report to the President as soon as he finds out. But it's not going to be a simple answer, as simple as somebody pulling the plug or dropping the punch cards on the floor and getting them all mixed up. I suspect, it's my opinion, that this is going to be similar to what happened to Southwest Airlines, that there is a problem with the software, perhaps a lack of updating of the software, keeping up with the information technology that keeps this system going. So follow along on the links below to watch the misery map unfold today. It looks like currently Denver's in the lead for delays, followed by Atlanta, and then Dallas or DFW area. Thanks so much for your support of this channel, especially the folks over on Patreon that make this content possible. See you here.